Joining me now is Ron Serpas. He is the moderator of the Perspective series, How to Find, Hire, and Keep the Finest. Police chiefs all over the country face the problem of recruitment and retention, trying to keep their people around. How are you working with them?
We have to look to the future and understand that the people we're hiring today are different than every other generation we've ever hired from. And that's not just a buzz phrase. You know, police chiefs, top 5 things on their mind is recruitment, retention, and succession planning. So we have to think globally about this. Are the traditional retirement packages still the right way to entice people to come to policing? Are we still thinking it's important to do the Navy SEAL commercial where police officers are jumping off of buildings and 1,000-mile-an-hour chases, when in fact that's very little of what they do.
Right.
And what can we learn from private sector? You know, you think about massive organizations like Southwest and Amazon and all these other organizations that are customer-based, service-based businesses, and they're hiring out of the same pool we're hiring out of. And we're both looking for similar things. We're looking for employees who understand service. We're looking for employees who understand dedication and commitment. So I think it's a great time for us. We have to change the way we hire probably more substantially differently now than we have in any of the 35 years I've been a police official.
And why is that? Just because the private sector is pulling these people away?
I think it's a combination of the private sector is more effective at pulling people away, and we have to change the method of we will hire you and you have to bend to our will in law enforcement. We need to look at we will hire you and we have to bend our recruitment, our training, our discipline, our succession planning to you, the new employee, because they're going to outnumber the old people, right? The older people like me, they're going to outnumber us.
Right.
Who are going to be the new sergeants and lieutenants and captains and chiefs? And where are they going to come from if people are no longer looking at 15, 20, 30-year commitments to a career, right? It's a pretty fairly stable talking point that this generation of employees are not necessarily 20, 30-year goal-oriented employees. Well, that's where we get our senior leaders from. So not only do we have to think about the beginning of this process, who do we recruit and retain, but also who do we succession plan for?
And one of your jobs is to kind of present some of the best practices of some of the departments who maybe are getting it right now.
That's exactly right. We're going to have representatives from Seattle. We're going to have representatives from a private industry. We're going to have representatives from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This is truly an international issue, and that is our purpose here at the International Association of Chiefs of Police. We have to think about this globally, not just nationally, not just in your state, not just in your city.
Mm-hmm. And there are potential hurdles to this as well. Talk about that.
Many of the nation's cities are controlled either through civil service systems, which tend to be archaic, or collective bargaining agreements, which tend to be a bit stoic. We have to recognize that unless we want to go unless we want to go the way of the dodo bird, and unless we want to become extinct, we have to be flexible. What can a police chief do before the civil service testing process to build their recruitment pool? What can a police chief do in cooperation with the local labor organization to recognize we have to make changes? We have been told by researchers easily since the 1960s that a better educated and a more diverse workforce will provide for better policing service. It's oftentimes sad that here we are in the year 2017 and we still see some resistance to seeking better education on new hires. We're starting to see more acceptance of diversity in the workplace. But education is an important tool because when someone comes to you educated in a professional way at a college, at the very minimum, they have been taught how to understand someone else's point of view before they make their own conclusions. And probably that is the most important tool a police officer needs.
All right. Ron Serpas, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.